Hi, welcome back to another video. I'm going to be talking about how much dogs cost. So this would be like the monthly upkeep that you've got of a dog, not just the initial costs. And this is just for anybody that's sort of thinking about getting a dog but isn't too sure exactly how much it usually costs, because obviously things creep up. So I just thought, with having experience of having Rhea, I'll just insert a little photo. I just thought it would be quite a good thing for other people to know things that I wish I had maybe known. We didn't go into a clue list, but certainly things did crop up that were quite expensive as well. So I hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, then please like and subscribe, and then also if there's any other videos you would like me to do in the future, please just comment them down below and I'll be certain to get round to them for you. The biggest thing that you will have to pay for your dog is vet bills. So it's not something that you'll pay every month, but it is something that will probably be expensive when they do crop up. Now, for a standard dog in good health, the main things that you will pay for is nail clipping. If you're not comfortable to do it yourself, like what I'm not comfortable doing it with the dog. Vaccinations annually, so this is something that dogs must have to keep them in good health. If they don't get their vaccinations, then you are putting them at high risk of getting very unwell. It does put other dogs at risk as well. So that is something else that you would need to pay for every year. So you would need to make the decision whether you want to neuter or spay your dogs. So basically what that means is you take them to the vets and they would get an operation so that they can't have pups. So that is something else that is quite costly. And also if they get unwell. So if they get unwell, that is when you would probably see the biggest cost from the vets. So a lot of the time you would have to pay a consultation fee. For my vets, our consultation fee is about £35 a visit. That doesn't matter what it is. So even if you go in and it turns out your dog is totally fine, chances are you're still paying your £35. And I know over lockdown as well, occasionally vets have actually been charging them just for you phoning. My vets has been quite good. If I have any queries, I usually can call up and just ask the receptionist. And they haven't charged me personally, but I have heard stories of other people getting charged just for asking for advice about their dog. That is something else to be wary of. And I'll go into my personal experience with that as well later on in the video. Something else that your vet might actually offer you, which mine does, is a care plan. I go to the vets, which is Vets for Pets. So that's the one that's in Pets at Home in the UK. And we have a care plan for our dog. So we've got the most expensive care plan because she is quite a large dog, and it's £14 a month. Our dog, she's only a year, but she actually has to get her anal glands emptied quite a lot, which is quite disgusting. If no one knows what that is, Google it, because it's not pleasant. That is something that we need to do with her, and we've had to do it since she was very, very young. But it's not common in young dogs, so chances are you won't need to do this straight away, but it is something that crops up later in life. But it is something that crops up later in life, so you would need to probably start getting that done. You can do it yourself, but I personally decide not to. So that's something else that we get free on the care plan for the £14 a month. So everything that we get, there is extras, but everything that we benefit from is she gets her flea and worm, her annual vaccinations. She also gets her nails clipped and her anal glands expressed. One free consultation, and you also get £5 off a second consultation. A discount on neutering. You also get an annual health check as well, and that's the main things that we get for Rhea from that. But there is loads more that we haven't had to use yet, but because of all of that, especially vaccinations, that's why we actually are benefiting keeping that care plan. So we have that in place for her. You also have insurance that you need to pay for your dog. Well, you don't need to pay for it, but it might protect you from those big vet bills that we mentioned earlier on. So you just need to make sure that you're comfortable with the company that you've went with. They've got a good reputation, and also that the price is the right for you. So they can really vary. The average cost of insuring your dog can range between £20 in the UK, and it can go all the way up to about £70 a month. It depends on the breed and the size and the age of your dog. It also depends on if they've had any health concerns previously. So all of these are factors. It's just like when you get your car insurance, everything impacts that. These are just the UK average cost. These aren't guaranteed. So if you do find an insurance provider that's saying over £100, that's not to say that that's not right. It might just be because of the breed of dog you've got. Because I know I've got family members that have got like bulldogs and things, and the insurance is about £100 odd a month. The next big cost that you have at the vets would be like neutering. So we got Rhea spayed when she was 6 months, and she weighed, I think she weighed about 20 kilograms at that point, or very close to 20 kilograms. So I think we paid £260, but we actually had a 10% discount on that as well. So it would have been more than that for her weight. But the average, so for a male dog, for a dog that is that weighs less than 10 kilograms, the average in the UK would be £160. For a dog that would weigh over 34 kilograms, the cost can go up to £230. So it's a one-off payment that you would make. There is for both female dogs and male dogs, there is 4 sort of bands, if you like. So it's different banded prices, and it depends on the weight of them. For female dogs, if your dog weighs under 10 kilograms, then the average in the UK would start at £217. And it's because to do a female, it's more of a complicated procedure, so that's why they are more expensive. If a female dog was to weigh over 34 kilograms, it can go all the way up to £397. It can be higher than that. Like I said, it is just a UK average. Other things that you might need to pay for your dog, depending on your choice, it is at your discretion, but things like training of your dog, you can either do it yourself, you can use YouTube videos. It's quite a good way to do it. That's what we done with Rhea. She's not the best dog in the world, she does have her hiccups, but she is quite boisterous and things on walks with other dogs. She gets really hyper. We got her just before lockdown, so we couldn't socialise her, we couldn't take her to training or anything, so that's probably why she's like that, but it's just excitement, she's no harm. But if you do have a dog that you are quite cautious about and you want to take them to training, if you're able to, then that can be slightly expensive, but obviously the long-term benefits is great. So definitely have a look into your local training groups. They'll all be different in prices, so you would just need to have a look into that. There is specialists that you can go to where they work one-on-one with your dog, and they are more expensive. But if you have got a dog that's really struggling, then it's maybe worth getting 1 or 2 appointments with them. Another thing that you would need to pay for, potentially if you are working a lot, you might look into getting a dog walker. So that's another cost that you might have not thought about if you are going to be out all day, just so that the dog's getting a little bit more interaction if you can't get someone to let them out. Another thing is toys. So if you've got a dog like mine, she goes through toys a lot. But we've got some that she won't tear to shreds, but if you've got a dog that's a shredder, then definitely you would need to get more expensive toys, because that way they'll last longer. So every dog is different, and there is so many different brands of dog food. So when we first got Rhea, like I said earlier on, we had to go to the vets with her. So after 2 days of getting Rhea, she was originally on a brand called Baker's, which apparently it's like feeding your dog McDonald's. It's not one of the higher quality foods, but obviously it's still allowed to be sold, and some people still use it because it sometimes works well with their dog, but for us it wasn't the right choice for us. So we had decided to change her on to Ava. So Ava's one of the higher quality brands. It's not the highest, but it's one of the more affordable ones. So that is what we put her onto. After a couple of days, she started to get really unwell, really poorly, and she was still fine in herself, but she had a lot of diarrhoea and sickness. So this proceeded to happen for, I would say, at least 2 weeks. But after a couple of days, we decided to take her to the vets. He had a look over her, checked all of her vaccination records and things. He gave her some medication, and they then prescribed food, which was, I think it was a Pro-Plan food, so it's Purina, and it was a wet food, so it was recommended by vets. So we got a couple of cans of that from him. So he says to put that in our food. So we done that continuously for the whole 2 weeks. She still had diarrhoea, but she was still well enough not to be concerned. Obviously, if your dog's having diarrhoea or sickness and they start to become lethargic, then you really need to get to the vet straight away. But we were in contact a lot, and she was okay. We decided to put Rhea onto the beta as well. Literally, whether it was just a coincidence, I don't know, but as soon as I gave her that food, straight away when she went to the toilet, it was totally fine. So I genuinely believe that it was because there was nothing wrong with that food brand. That brand is a really good brand. But I think at that point in Rhea's life, it was too strong for her stomach. We had her on beta for almost a year. But recently, obviously she has to get her anal glands done, like I said before, which we get done for free. Dogs, even when they're elderly, should only get that every few months, so every 3 to 6 months. Rhea needs to get it done every 3 weeks. So if we didn't have that care plan in place, then it would certainly be a very expensive for us to get that done at the vets that often. So I think it's maybe about £16 every time you go. But she gets hers done every 3 to 4 weeks. She needs it done, and the vets have suggested that they thought it was maybe her food. So we also thought she was taking maybe an allergic reaction to it, but it was very minor because she was getting sort of like a flaky dryness on her skin. So we actually also give Rhea cod liver oil in her food, and that just helps with like her eyes, her skin, her coat, her joints and her teeth. It's got so many benefits, so if you do have a dog, maybe consider giving them cod liver oil as well, as long as your vet's happy with that. So now we've had to change her back onto the Ava, but this time we've went for one of the more specialist Ava brands. So they're all hypoallergic, but we've went for one that's got it's extra sensitive to her skin and to her coat, skin and her stomach. So we're trying this out to see how it goes, to see if it makes a difference with her. But that is a more expensive brand, so we've went from spending £26 a month to 40. So it's definitely something to think about. Just because you choose a certain dog brand or a certain food for your dog doesn't mean that it's going to agree with them. So you might end up with a dog that's got special characteristics in them that means that they have to be on a certain food, which can be expensive if they get unwell. So it's definitely something to think about, not just the initial cost of a dog and what you want to spend, but also you need to be prepared that if anything comes up, whether it's vet bills or a change in food or circumstances, that you're able to support that and pay for that as well. So with all that said, for our specific dog, she actually costs just under £70 a month, and that is for her care plan, her food, and any toys that we need to get her as well. So that's just like the bare minimum that we have for £70 a month. It's slightly roughly about that region because she doesn't necessarily go through her bag every 4 weeks, sorry. It's roughly every 5 weeks, so obviously that's just on a month-to-month basis, just to give you an idea. But you can certainly get a dog that's more expensive than that, and you can certainly get one that's lower than that. There's loads that you need to consider that we've covered mostly in this video. So certainly have a think about it, do your research, and then make sure that you are happy that you can support yourself and your family, but you can also then pay for a dog if anything goes wrong, because you don't want to be in a position where your dog's not well and you're not able to help them. So yeah, I hope this video has been informative, it's been helpful. If anybody has any questions at all, then please just pop them in the comments below and I'll do my best to give you an answer. Like I said, I'm not a professional anyway, this is just how it's been for us personally and my own experience through having dogs in the past. So I hope this was helpful, and if you liked the video then please give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. I don't just do videos on animals as well, I have loads of different videos, so just about the whole lifestyle as a general, so please have a look at that and let me know what you think. So I hope you all have a nice weekend, and I'll see you all in the next video.